I have an idea. Let's try this. 10 out of 10. I'm Dan, and I've been designing kitchen gadgets for 39 years. I'm going to test some ice cream gadgets and see if I can find a way to make them better. But I would give this more of a beak. I would flatten this out a bit. Did you ever go ice fishing? These are the products I am going to test. Scoop and stack. Mini ice cream sandwich maker. Thumb push ice cream scoop. Round ice cream sandwich press. Smart scoop ice cream scoop. Scoop and stack. The purpose of this gadget is to take core samples out of your carton of ice cream as if you're on a geological exploration. Let's see how effective it is. So we have a carton of chocolate ice cream here. Let's try taking a core sample using the gadget. Let's just try plunging and see how far we get. This ice cream is rather frozen. I'm not plunging as deep as I would hope. Well, I was imagining this would plunge right into the ice cream and I would lift out a core that is as deep as the depth of the plunger itself. The ice cream is not actually lifting unless I really persuade it. There's a button here to release. It's okay, but I'm not sure it's working as it was intended. It's kind of hard to get in. Putting quite a bit of weight on it. There's no real reason for this to come out with the gadget. So I'm a little confused as to what the intention is, how this device is expected to work. But it's not doing much for me now. Doesn't even want to come out. So definitely not behaving. I'm not sure if it's the device or the ice cream or both, but someone is not behaving. Let's see how that compares with the more traditional ice cream scoop. Not great. But in terms of effectiveness, I would give this a 1 out of 5. I just couldn't get it to work. Now I'm going to try the left-handed oil test. This is a very simple usability test. By making my non-dominant hand more slippery, it's going to highlight any deficiencies in the design of the gadget. This can help me simulate, in a way, what it would be like for someone with less dexterity or possibly arthritis or less strength in their hands to use this product. Let's try this. And really, I need 2 hands to press this down. So while my left hand is pretty secure on the belly of this, it's not really easily digging into the ice cream. I would still want to use 2 hands and some body weight to get in here. I'm going to rock it a little bit to see if I can get a little deeper. And when I pull it out, the shape is rather conducive to lifting up, right? Having this flare here is not a bad idea, but the problem is the ice cream just is not coming out. I think it just has an inherent fault and that there's no reason for that ice cream to move in the way that you would think it wants to move. So we don't really get a core sample. Lefty or righty, not loving it. In terms of usability, on a 1 to 5 scale, whether right-handed, left-handed, or two-handed, I'd give this a 1. It's just not working. Okay, let's think about a redesign. For the shape of the handle itself, what your hand actually grabs around, I'm kind of okay with that because it's got a pretty good flare top and bottom. There's a button up here, and when this is all the way up, the only way to plunge down on it is to press that button. So that not only is it difficult to reach, but it also seems unnecessary. I'm not sure why you'd have to lock it in the up position because as you're plunging this into the ice cream, it's going to go up anyway. For a redesign, though, I think the real fault of this is the cylinder at the bottom. And this would take quite a bit of experimentation. One thing maybe I would try is turning this more into a screw mechanism. Screw this into the ice cream, right? So get like a, hole into the ice, and that would have a reason to hopefully grab the ice cream. Did you ever go ice fishing? In terms of a buy rating, on a 1 to 5 scale, I would give the Scoop and Stack a 1. As a matter of fact, I'd give it a 1 on a 1 to 100 scale. Scoop and Stack, all you did was get between me and my ice cream. Mini ice cream sandwich maker. As the name suggests, it is designed to make mini ice cream sandwiches. There's a circle, there is a heart, and there's a star shape. We're going to try the star shape. I'm going to see if I can make a star shape out of a round cookie. That did work. Of course, you have some leftover cookie, but we can figure out something to do with that, like eat it. I'm going to see if I can scoop directly into the container of ice cream. This may or may not work. Let's see if I can get some ice cream in there. Let's see if I can straighten things out when I press it. Now, second cookie, so I'm going to waste some of the periphery. I'm now going to press this down, and let's see how successful this is. Okay, it looks pretty good from this side. It's a little crushed on this side. Let's try it again. This time I'm going to scoop some ice cream into it. And let's go with that. I got a little excess ice cream that may ooze out, but we'll try it. Let's push down, see if we can get a star shape. Let's squeeze down with this. Let's pop that one out. And here is a pretty successful star-shaped mini ice cream sandwich. Let's see how I do trying to make a star-shaped mini ice cream sandwich by hand. Need some practice. In terms of effectiveness, I would give this a 4. Pretty successful. So it's time for the left-handed oil test. Step 1, cut the cookie. Step 2, I'm going to push this in a little bit. That's a two-handed operation. And so I have room for the ice cream. I'm going to scoop a little bit in, and let's put cookie number 2 in place. And let's try pushing this down. This is a twist shape, and as you push it down, it spins, but I don't see a good reason why it has to spin. I'm going to push the cookie away. Let me eject. And it's okay. I think with a little more practice and being a little more careful, I would be a bit more successful. In terms of usability, I would rate this a 4. There's nothing really about this that's too difficult. So let's look at a redesign. This spiral, as you go down, kind of cute, but a bit useless. At the same time, it's not a disadvantage. It's just kind of questionable as to why that handle needs to spin as it goes down. I think the only redesign I would do on this is because the cookie, since it's so breakable, I think I would make a star-shaped plunger that has a handle on the back. So it would be an added piece, but probably worth it, so that once the cookie is in here, that way you can add ice cream without breaking the cookie. And I think that would be most required for the star shape and for the heart shape, where these points are most likely to break off. Maybe a way to do this, if I thought it through, is make a piece that just would sit on the table. It's got the star shaped. And what that would do is push the cookie in a very specific distance. Maybe it's got a circular base. The difference between this and that one is that this can be pushed in as deep as possible, so you can make your ice cream sandwich as thick as possible. In terms of a buy rating, I would give the mini ice cream sandwich maker a 5. It could be a fun activity in the kitchen. The advantage of making mini ice cream sandwiches is that you can eat many of them. Okay, I'm into it. Thumb push, ice cream scoop. The purpose of this ice cream scoop is to scoop some ice cream and to pop it out with your thumb. Let's test its effectiveness. Let's see how it does on this container of strawberry ice cream. I'm going to get a pretty good scoop. It's not falling out by itself, but if I press, it comes out. So okay, it seems to do what it's designed to do. That's working pretty effectively. Let's see how it compares to a more traditional ice cream scoop. In terms of effectiveness on a scale of 1 to 5, I would give this a 4. It's kind of nice. Thumbs up for the thumbs push ice cream scoop. Okay, it's time for the left-handed oil test. Let's see how it does. I'm going to go into this ice cream and see how well this functions. While I kind of like the 3 sides to the cross-section of the handle, it's a little too round. As I'm spinning it around, the handle just wants to spin in my hand. The ice cream is not falling out by itself. It did that with the traditional scoop. And I think the reason is because we really have half a sphere here. And again, the ice cream is not falling out. Oh, it does fall out eventually. It does melt and fall out. But if I press on this, I'm pressing on a shape that just doesn't want to press. It's just a half sphere. I'm not too sure I'm thrilled about that. In terms of usability, I would drop it down to a 3. I think it could be much better with some really subtle changes. On the other hand, the strawberry ice cream is pretty good. And messy. Okay, let's give this a redesign. So first, let's look at the triangle shape of the handle. It's got 3 sides, but it's rather round. It's a very bulbous triangle. And because of that, as you're twisting, it's harder to control, and you need to squeeze much harder. This is a cross-section of the handle. If I drew a circle around the midpoint of this handle, I would flatten this out a bit and still keep it a soft triangle, but not nearly as soft, so it's less likely to spin around in your hand. Another thing I would do here is give it more of a beak. This is a rather large surface area to start to enter the ice cream. So from this angle, I would probably make this edge more pronounced and probably scoop out the sides a bit so that there's not as much surface area grabbing onto the scoop of ice cream. So that does two things. One is making this more of a pointed beak will help get into the ice cream, and scooping this on the sides, you'd still get a round ball of ice cream, but it wouldn't want to stick as tightly. The other thing that's making this stick is this is almost a perfect half circle, and the ice cream may be less likely to release. Another thing I would do is that in this direction of the handle, you do want to push into the ice cream. Sometimes that can be tough. So I would design this handle with a bit of a flare. So flaring this out would give your thumb and your index finger something to push against. So it could be a continuous shape here. It could be just a flare like that would give you something to push against. But what you're doing is you're squeezing this. You want to push in, and what you don't want to do is push against a taper that's working in the reverse direction, because your fingers are just going to slide forward. What will eventually happen is your fingers will be up against the scoop itself, but by that time your fingers are practically in the ice cream. Not sure what to do about the fact that this is so hard to push. It's like pushing in on a rubber ball, and a round shape like this is something that's really going to resist pushing. It's possible there could be some sort of corrugation in here that would allow it to flex more, or maybe a flatter area here, or just something that would want to flex or want to contract or want to accordion in, rather than a perfect sphere, which is the shape that would be most resistant to deforming. In terms of a buy rating, I would give the thumb push ice cream scoop a 2. It's a little more difficult than it needs to be. In terms of making a strawberry ice cream sundae, this is how I would do it. And maybe a bib. Round ice cream sandwich press. This is designed to make round ice cream sandwiches with cookies. Let's see how effective it is. It's going to help to find a cookie that fits perfectly. This is a 3-inch diameter cookie. This does come in 2 sizes. You can either use this side of the base for a 3-inch cookie, or you can use this side of the base for a larger cookie. We couldn't afford a larger cookie, so we're going to go with the 3-inch size cookies. Let's get some ice cream, drop it in. Don't want to overfill it, so it may take a little practice. Let's get the top cookie in place. Okay, let's see how the press part works. Squeezing slowly so I don't break anything. And once I'm done, I'm going to lift it, keep pressing, and I think we're okay. I would try 2 or 3 of these before I got it right, or maybe 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, depending on how hungry I am. And if you had 2 cookies and simply put a scoop of ice cream in between, you squeeze it down gently, you're going to get some excess ice cream on the outside, but you can run around that with a knife and scrape it off. So let's try that. In terms of effectiveness, I would give this a 5. I think it worked pretty well. Sometimes simple is the path to success, and this is pretty simple. Time for the left-handed oil test. Cookies and ice cream appear. So I'm ready to go. My left hand is slippery. I'm going to take the plunger piece out, load the bottom cookie, scoop in some ice cream. Now this part isn't a fair test because we're not looking at usability of the scoop itself, and that's probably enough. Don't forget to put the second cookie on top. Place the plunger. I'm going to go a little slow because ice cream is just a bit hard. I don't want to break the cookie. Okay, out, and not too bad. There's a bit of ice cream here which I may want to scrape away from the top of the cookie. But really, there's no disadvantage to using this with a left hand. In terms of usability, it is what it is. I would rate it a 5 because there's not that much to it. In terms of redesign, this product is so simple and its function is so simple. Don't think I have a whole lot to say. I would suggest, because this slipped a little bit, this little ridge in here could be a little taller. I think it would hold together as you're pressing a little better. But man, that's such a minor change, and it's not horrible as it is. I just think it would maybe behave a little better if that was a little bit taller, and it wouldn't affect anything other than the stability as you're pressing. This is okay as it is. If I was really forced to redesign this, I think I would suggest, rather than a flat top on here, I think I would do a bit of a dome. I think it would just feel better on the hands and also communicate a little bit better that this is where you plunge. But that's a pretty minor suggestion. It's not going to really improve the final result. I just think it'll look and feel just slightly nicer. In terms of a buy rating, I would give the round ice cream sandwich press a 4. If you do have a high output of ice cream sandwiches, then maybe you should think about eating an apple once in a while. On the other hand, this doesn't look too bad. Whoa, sugar rush. Smart scoop, ice cream scoop. Its purpose in life is to scoop ice cream and automatically release it when you're ready. Let's see how effective it is. Okay, let's try it on some mint chocolate chip. This is my favorite ice cream, and I have some high hopes for this. It's got a sharp beveled edge, so it should be able to get through the ice cream pretty well. And it seems like it's going to be very easy because of the shape of this handle when it's squeezed. It gives a shape that should be easy to get a pretty good grip and twist on. So let's give it a go, see if that really works out. Ice cream's a little hard, but it's okay. I've got a scoop. I'm twisting okay. And that time it just fell out. I didn't really need to release it. So it's okay, not bad. I may take back what I said about the handle because we've got an edge here that I can feel as I'm trying to twist it. Feeling too much pressure, more pressure than I would like. Let's compare it to a more traditional ice cream scoop. Here's the scoop on this one. Not great. In terms of effectiveness, I would give it a 3.5. It's got a lot of potential, but there is room for improvement. But I could imagine this working if the ice cream was a little more gooey. Time for a left-handed oil test. Nice and slimy. If you're wondering, extra virgin olive oil. Oh man, this is now relatively slippery. I can feel it not behaving like I would hope. The shape is okay, it's just the surface is quite slippery. Yeah, the handle is not as easy to manipulate and work around. So as you can see, I'm moving the carton around to get it into position, mainly because the scoop itself is a little bit hard to control. Now it's slipping a bit, so I'm a little disappointed. I thought this would be a little bit easier to control because of its oval shape. In terms of usability, unfortunately, I'm going to give this a 2. It had greater promise than it actually delivered on. Okay, time for a redesign. There are a couple of things I would suggest doing on this. I would eliminate any sharp edges here because as you're squeezing, you're going to feel some pressure points along there. Also, while a large handle is generally good, this one in its squeeze position I think may be a little too large. I'll draw both halves of this. You've got that half and that half. And what you're trying to do with your hand is spin in that direction. And because it's so round, your hand's just going to slip and spin on it. What would be preferred is to give this some sort of shape. It's not a perfect circle. So as you spin, your hand really is going to nest into that and have something to twist against. I would give this, is maybe a little exaggerated, but I would give this more of a beak to make sure that we're digging into the ice cream. And this one does feel a bit sharper, so it's going to dig into the ice cream a little better. And you don't really need this much of the scoop. You can see the difference how this is cut out. It really curves in quite a bit. In doing that, I think you're going to have better success once you dig in, twisting it around. For a buy rating, I would give it a 3. I think it's pretty durable. I think it is useful. I just don't think this is the only ice cream scoop I would want to have in my kitchen. I scream, you scream, we all scream for well-designed ice cream gadgets. Everyone has their favorite ice cream. Mine is chocolate chip or anything with chocolate chips in it. Mint chocolate chip, vanilla chocolate chip, chocolate chip, chocolate chip, chocolate chip. To me, a well-designed ice cream gadget is one that gets that ice cream down your throat as quickly as possible. Cheers.